What's happening, y'all? This is KJ Live. A little bit of a technical difficulty to get the day started. I apologize for that. We're going to get Julius V up in here. Apologies, Julius. Ran into a little technical difficulty. But you, Julius, and I go a little ways back. I think about 8 or 9 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, coaching against each other on
Nah,
the AAU
I,
scene.
I
And
think
there's the man.
I think I was the fuck up. I'm wobbling the phone and shit. You can hear
Oh,
me
man,
though?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear? Can you hear me now?
The
Can you hear me?
sound is the sound is down. Can you plug in? Can you plug in?
Nah, you
Or,
can't
or
hear
even the
nothing I'm saying.
AirPods? Or even I can't hear nothing.
Okay.
I can't hear nothing.
Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Julius V of Julius V Elite in the building and of Southern California Academy. One of the most influential grassroots guys there is in the game today. We're trying to get his audio cracking.
You.
Apologies for the wait. It'll be well worth the wait.
Oh, they said they could hear me though, Chris.
So they say they can hear us. So everybody says we can hear them. So I can't hear Julius. Let me see.
Maybe it's your headphones.
Julius.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see if this works here. Yo,
Yeah.
you got me now. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna go without. You got me?
Has this happened? Has this happened to anybody else?
It happens every single time, bro. I literally,
Okay.
I gotta FaceTime cats and walk them through. Dudes don't be updating their app, all type of stuff.
I
Hey
thought I
man,
was the fuck up. Okay.
nah, heck nah, heck no. Hey man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you're a busy guy. Um, I wanted to kind of just give my audience a chance to get to know you a little bit better. I mean, we know you through basketball. We see you always in the gym, any gym, everywhere around the country. But we really want to kind of find out, who is this guy, Julius V? Where did he come from? What were his beginnings, and how did he get his start? So for me, I just kind of want to know, like, what city and state were you born in?
Uh, Dang, I thought I was a man in the city. You don't know, L.A.
Oh,
L.A.
you
I'm
was out
from
here.
L.A. Born,
What part?
yeah.
What part?
I grew up all over, man. Part of my mom had got sick, so part of my life we was like homeless. So I
Yeah.
kind of lived all over, but I lived like West L.A., Crenshaw District, but I really just lived all over.
Julius, so you mentioned that you guys were homeless. Talk about that
Mhm.
struggle growing up and what it was like being homeless.
Um, Honestly, growing up, it kind of felt normal. To keep it 100, it felt kind of regular. But now that I look back at it, like some of the stories and the way I couldn't even imagine somebody else like my
Yeah,
age going through some of the stuff that I went through. But um, I wouldn't replace my childhood for nothing.
that's
You
real.
know, I
That's
feel
real.
like it kind of made me the person I am today.
Absolutely, and that's a recurring theme on the show, man. Cats don't look back and don't do anything in regret. Was it just you and mom, or was dad around?
My I, my dad was around, but like my daddy is a foreigner and didn't graduate high school, so
Where's he from?
uh,
Where was he from?
he's German and Hungarian.
Okay, so that's where the
Yeah,
Von Hanzlik.
yeah, That's why I
Yeah.
just say V. Motherfuckers can't pronounce it.
Nah, it's yeah, but so then growing up in LA, kind of bouncing around, when did you get some stability and kind of figure out during your childhood that sports was an option for you?
Well, so I always was into sports, but I didn't. I actually started basketball late. Like I started like probably like in the seventh, eighth grade, because
Okay.
everybody in my neighborhood where I was living played basketball, right?
Right.
So, my middle brother played, my youngest brother played. So I didn't start playing till late. So I started off like, playing at the Crenshaw Y, Westchester Y, the regular. Well, kids don't do that now. They don't play at the Ys and stuff like that. They go straight to AAU. But I
Yeah.
started off at the Y, and I thought I was good because I was the biggest one out there. So my buddy played AAU, and they had a tournament they had practice. I had slept over his house, so I went to practice with him, and I was big for my age at the time, right? So I shit crazy. So the coach see me like, man, you don't play. I say, I play a little bit. I played at the Y, whoop de whoop. He's like, man, come to this tournament. We're playing in Vegas. So I didn't know nothing about AAU, nothing, right? I'm thinking it's just Ys and Rex. He's telling me about this travel team, right? So I go to the practice, whatever. They take me to Vegas. Okay, it's free trip. Never been out the city. You know what I'm saying? So I go to Vegas. First game we played, Drew Holiday. Right? It was crazy, man. First game we played Drew Holiday. So it was Drew, Jeremy Anderson, who went to UCLA. And it's crazy because we all friends now. But that was the first guys I seen play. It was like ARC Nationals or something. They were playing with like RC Bulls. I was still kind of like one of the bigger guys. Because it was ARC Nationals, right? Not AAU Nationals. So RC Bulls was pretty much the best team in there, whatever, right? So Drew's my size though, playing guard.
And you're 6'5", you're 6'5", right?
Yeah. But at the time, this was like I was probably like 6'1" or so, right? But at the Y, I'm the biggest one out there. So we play in a game or whatever. I had probably like 4 points and like 17 rebounds, something crazy, right?
Damn.
Yeah, because I was just, I'm just hood dude, just coming. I'm just playing hard. I don't know, I don't know the politics. I'm not too cool for anything. I'm just coming hoping. Yeah, I'm not tripping on that. You know what I'm saying? So, I was solid, right? So we get back. There was a break. So this time this team start playing AAU. Okay, so we end up at the time it was they were called Unique Physiques.
Big fella from Ohio State?
Yes. They're shooting threes, right? I'm like, huh? They 6'7", 6'8", they 5'6" inches taller than me shooting threes. I'm like, something ain't right. I'm not doing something right?
You ain't seen no shit like that.
Never, right? This was at the Warrior. They used to have these games it was called the Warrior Center.
Okay.
So I'm like, this shit, it's not, something I'm doing ain't right. I'm thinking I'm good, but I'm really not good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at this time, I kind of transitioned to, can you hear me? It's like a little.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
It's cool? It's cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like transitioning from like 5 to 4 at this time, right? So we played SCA. So they had DeMar DeRozan, Malik Story, Brandon Jennings, right? Loaded. So we played them, and I had probably I think 17 or 18, right? So now I'm actually able to actually play, but I'm still not playing the position I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about they throwing out of bounds plays, baseline out of bounds, DeMar Duncan. I think Brandon Jennings had just came off AAU Nationals MVP, I want to say.
Yeah.
I want to say that was 7th grade. So basically I got a rude awakening fast, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was obviously I just hit the gym, got better. By my freshman year going into my sophomore year, I started actually kind of creating a name, and I started actually, getting invited to the bigger camps, playing on good AAU teams. So I played with Dinos, with Belmont Shore, with Brandon and DeMar.
Nice.
And so I played with him. I played with Icart when they combined with the Pumps. I think we were Team Adidas or something like that. And that was with Hollis Thompson was on that team.
George.
It was some good names. I can't remember who else, but it was a good group. And then I played with Renardo Sidney's team. Kawhi was on that team. Yeah. We were at one point probably the best team in the country. So but what happened was I ended up going to So I played with P. Miller as well. So they have this rule. So I went to Dino's I'm all over the place. So Dino's had like a showcase, right? It was like he has like his little top 20 games or whatever.
Yeah.
So he had a showcase or whatever. So at the time I was going to Pac Hills. Okay, so Pac Hills, so Amir Johnson went there before he went to Westchester, Gerard Moret, like it was some guys there, right?
Yeah,
But they were older than me. So I went to Pac Hills. I had a good year, made all CIF, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I end up playing on the team or whatever. It was like a top 20 game. And Romeo was on my team.
Yeah.
And congrats Hersey on the commitment.
Shout out Hersey.
Yep. Romeo was on the team, and it was me, Rome, and DeMar on the team, and me and Rome chopping it up. And he's like, "What school you go to?" And at the time, this is when I actually had left Pac Hills. I wasn't going to school at all. He's like, "What school you go?" I was like, "I don't go to school. I'm not in any school." He's like, "Huh?" He don't know the dynamic of my story, right? He don't know what's,
right.
I'm like, "I'm not in no school right now." So he's like, "Man, you should come to Beverly Hills."
Okay.
Beverly Hills, I'm gonna get, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, because we were homeless, I was able to get into whatever school I wanted because my mom had the paper, so you can go to any school you want, right, by law, because you don't have a home. One day we on Fig in a motel, next day we in Santa Monica in a motel, you know what I'm saying? So you don't have no home school. So I ended up getting into school that way, and so I basically would stay with Rome and them majority of the time to go to school. And like P basically was a huge help and big part of my life and kind of just showing me. Because when I went to the school to visit, my mom was like, "You sure you want to go here?" Like, because this is like a total different world. So she was wondering, like, would I be more like, sad seeing what these kids have that I don't have? I'm like, huh? Yeah, I want to go here. I'm going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I end up going there. And so we had a coach. My coach his name is Luis Tercios. He was I want to say a GA with Bobby Knight.
Okay.
He coached El Salvador.
He was a hard ass.
Oh man, hard nose. What? So he coached in Mexico pro. He coached El Salvadorian national team. But anyways, he had a nephew that was like 5'10" that ended up playing at Bucknell, but he started playing basketball like like ninth grade or something. He ended up developing him. So that my sophomore year I didn't play at all, right? So I'm at Beverly Hills. I didn't play because I transferred from Pacific Hills, and it was a big deal at the time because Rome transferred from Windward. I transferred from Pac Hills. DeMar was going to come. Like, it was loaded, right?
Y'all made a move.
Yes. Rome had a cousin that was really good he was at Mount Zion. He transferred in from New Orleans. Sure. So it was, I don't know if you remember Ari Allen, Baby Shaq.
I coach Ari.
Okay.
As a freshman.
Yeah. So it's cracking now, right? We got everybody. Jerry Blake's end up playing. He's playing in Europe right now. I mean, it was loaded, right? So CIF basically, they did their investigate. People were complaining, whatever. Yeah. So I ended up having to sit out my sophomore year.
The whole year?
Yeah, I sat out the whole year because I played varsity my freshman year. So, and then by this time I'm actually can play. I'm actually pretty good now. So, so I ended up sitting out or whatever. And right after the season, he started training me and working me out. I've never had a trainer. Okay. I was just, like I said, I started late. I just pull up to the games and figure it out. Like, traditional. It's like most people in probably my era and younger. I mean, and older. So spring come, he starts training me, like, working, doing skill stuff and things like that. And I've never seen, like, and this is no disrespect to any of the other coaches I've had, but I've never seen anyone break down the game like he did, break down your mental like he did. He's big on footwork, things like that. We'll talk about, I'm sure you're going to ask me about training later, but a lot of this stuff I kind of piggybacked from him. So that's kind of like how I really just got into basketball and really once I got with him, I start actually becoming a real student of the game, like learning basketball, not just out there hoping, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was a big part of it. And then, you know, I didn't play against everybody, played on all the top teams, went to all the big camps. So I didn't see half the NBA at a young age. So I know what it looks like, you know, and I seen how he developed me and how I progressed. And, you know, so that's pretty much how the whole thing started.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
So then you went to what after Pac Hills? You were.
So I went to Beverly Hills. So I went. Okay. Went to Beverly Hills. So I had a terrible transcript, right? Okay. Terrible transcript. Because you can imagine that I had bigger fish to fry than doing homework. Like I didn't have no dining room table to do homework. Like I'm not thinking about homework. You know what I'm saying? That grind is different. Yeah, I'm not thinking about no homework, nothing. I got way more bigger things to fry, right? So I don't even know where I'm gonna go after school. You know, school finished, other than when I went to Rome House. But if I wasn't with Rome, before, you know, so my transcript was terrible, right? Transcript was terrible. So I ended up not qualifying academically, right? So I went to, I was going to Stonebridge. I went there. I don't know if you remember in Simi Valley.
Stonebridge Prep.
I was there for like maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
And that's when Nikola Vucevic was there. I think a year later, Enes Kanter ended up there. Taj Gibson was like, they were loaded, right? So that was kind of the school you go to fix your transcript.
Yeah.
You know, so I went there for like maybe not even a month, maybe a few weeks. And it was something going on with the school and the credits or whatever. So I ended up leaving and going to some bullshit in Houston. Right, not credit, like some bullshit prep school in Houston.
Okay,
not credited, like some bullshit, whatever.
Janky.
Long story short, I ended up not getting cleared by NCAA. Yeah, crazy shit, but ended up not getting cleared by NCAA. So all these schools that recruited me, basically, you know, was gone.
Julius, let me ask you something real quick. When you're a young man that's put his all into the game, right? And you love the game, you're playing, and you're trying to make something out of the game, and then you run into a roadblock like that. What does that do for you mentally, emotionally, and how do you maintain your head? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great question. Shit, I was fucked up. Like I didn't even really like. I honestly, I wouldn't face the fact, because you know in LA when you think like JUCO, like you're like, I'm not going JUCO. You know that
you get bougie.
Yeah, like JUCO. I'm not going to JUCO. My boy's playing on ESPN today. You know what I'm saying? My boy's playing on ACC Network. Like, what you mean? Like, I'm not playing, Yes, right? Yes. Too cool for school and not really facing the reality. So it was hard. And then, you know, luckily, like, my dad is European, so through some relationships, I was able to. I was in Hungary for a little bit. I almost signed with a team in Serbia. So right before I signed with a team in Serbia, I ended up having my daughter. While finding out that I was going to have a daughter, and basically I had to make a decision: was I going to try to climb this ladder and chase this hoop thing, knowing that there's always a new wave of guys, you know. So basically at this point I'm kind of irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? So I can try to climb the ladder and grind and thug it out.
Yeah.
And try to make enough money, but not be a part of my daughter's life in the beginning.
And she was in America.
Yeah, she was in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I had to make a decision, and I made a decision. It just wasn't enough money for me to not be with my daughter every day. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up doing that. And from there, I mean, figure it out again.
How did you get your start? How did you get your start in grassroots?
I'll tell you this story, man. You ain't gonna believe it, man. I don't even. Some of this shit I'm saying, man, just sound like some cap shit. This shit crazy. So I'm sitting. So remember, what I remember is the YMCA and the Rex. That's where the hoopers were at. The Ys and the Rex, right? St. Andrews, Westchester Y. You know what I'm saying? Inglewood Y. Like that's where the hoopers were.
Yeah.
Darby. Like, I don't remember the club all early. So I'm like, man, I'm going to go take the best kids from all the Ys and build a travel team, right?
Hmm.
I haven't coached or anything. So I'm like, let me volunteer. I end up volunteer coaching at Santa Monica Y and West Side Y.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I sign up, I go through the process, whatever, right? And I'm looking like everybody that's volunteering are like dads who know nothing about basketball, right? Like nothing. So we do the whole, the interview paperwork, all that background check. So before I get to practice, I get an email. It's the funniest thing. So, Mike Chappelle played at Duke,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Michigan
Sure.
State.
Michigan. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Michigan guy.
so I get an email. So he's older than me. So I remember I didn't follow basketball that early. I didn't play it. So I get an email. Hey, my son's on the team. I played a little basketball. If you would need some help, I'll come help coach and all that, right? so I get there and it's Mike Chappelle, right? So I still don't fully know who he is because by the email he's like talking like he doesn't know anything. He doesn't,
Yeah.
So I get there, his son's on my team. This was like 7 and 8 year olds, and one of the other parents of the team is like, bro, I end up being cool with him, whatever. And the dad was like, yeah, that Mike Chappelle, he has this 3-point records and this and that. He played here. I'm like, nah. So I end up me and Mike start chopping up. I end up being cool with him or whatever. And the team was terrible, right? His son was the only one his son is now a sophomore. He goes to Crossroads. He's probably about 6'7" now. His son was really the only one that had any type of potential or anything on that team. Yeah, but this is my first coaching, so I'm going hard. I'm trying to really coach, but I didn't really have the experience or anything yet, right? Just I was only a player. So he's helping out. He's helped me out a little bit. And so I used to go there. I think the practices there were like from like 5:15 to like 6:15. And then the West Side Y, the West Side Y is on like Sawtell and Olympic. Santa Monica Y is on 6th and Santa Monica. So I used to run from Santa Monica Y to the West Side Y.
What street you take up? Olympic?
I would run straight down Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
Straight down Santa Monica.
Boning out.
All the way, turn on Sawtell. I didn't have no car. So I used to run to the practice. So one day Mike seen me and he was like, where are you going? I'm like, I got to go. He didn't know I was coaching at this other Y. So he started taking me, from that practice. Instead of having, I'm running, I'm sweating by the time I get to the other practice. So anyways, I'm there. I'm like, man, it's no talent here. Am I at the wrong Y? I got to be at the wrong Y, right? So I go to Westchester. I'm still like, it's just the talent ain't the same. So anyway, so I start recruiting. I get probably about 8, 9 kids. I go to a AAU tournament. It was Angelo ran it. It was called Lift Off Sports. So we go playing that. And it was like more lower level teams, right? But again, I don't know the politics. I don't know what's what, right? So it's more like lower level teams, right? So we go play in the tournament. We get shirts or whatever. We're playing pretty good, right? So I'm thinking we're good. I'm like, man, we're nice. Yeah. So then I read there's some other bigger tournaments. So I go to those tournaments. We go 0-4, smacked, right? 0-3 in pool, 0-3 in bracket play. I'm like, man, we're like these kids are bad, right? Terrible, right? So I'm like, man, I got to get these guys better. So I kept trying to develop them, whatever. So that's how I kind of started with the AAU thing.
Okay.
Right, where I actually stepped foot in it.
Yeah.
But actually started to build some type of name was a different thing.
Yeah.
It was different. So at that time I was just a regular face in the, in the crowd, whatever. But the way I started to kind of build my brand and my name was I had remembered that Joe Keller used to run these middle school camps called Phenom, right? and he had all the guys. These are names I don't know if got Demetrius Walker, Aaron Moore,
Really good when they were younger. Yeah.
Teran Carter, Rome Draper, like big names, like young middle school guys, right? And that was his team. So all of those guys would play in the camp. And he might have 5 other top kids, and then the rest would just be payers.
Payers.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, if I can do something like that, but legitimately make it invite only, right? So at this time, I didn't understand the full politics, whatever, right? So, I'm little kids. I'm thinking, you pay for your kid to do stuff, right? Like the entitled, like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm 5 stars, so I shouldn't pay for anything. Like I didn't know fully about that, so I'm thinking I can still do it the right way and still make revenue, right? So I'm like, man, I got to get the top. I'm gonna invite the top middle school guys. So I'm gonna invite the top 3rd through 8th grade, right? Top 20 guys in each class, right, at the time. Okay. So I'm like, who can I get behind this? So I remember I had a relationship with Dave Kiefer at California Preps, who's like the California branch of Rivals. So I asked him, can I use, your brand and kind of we partner up and do it, So it was good branding for him.
Yeah.
And it made it easier for me to, I'm calling these parents. They don't know who I am or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and they had never covered middle school, right? Because they were only doing high school stuff. So he was like, okay, yeah, cool. And I've been knowing him since high school, right?
Okay.
So, what was that? So, I remember, I don't know none of the kids. So I'm Googling, like, who are really the top teams? So the first thing pops up is Tri-City. Okay, so Tri-City, that's with, Paris Dawson. He's at Portland State. He's having a good year. He went to Corona. So Paris Dawson's dad ran Tri-City.
Okay.
He had all the cracking young kids. All of them, right?
For just Riverside or that inlet, IE, or all over?
Everywhere. He had people was driving from all over to go be with Coach Dawson. He was the guy, right? Because before he had Tri-City, I think he was with ARC.
Okay.
He had everybody. Like he was the guy, right? Majority of the top young kids was playing with him.
Okay.
I didn't fully know that completely. When I would look online, Tri-City they did a great job branding, so they would be the guys to pop up. So I reach out to Paris Dawson, dad. I want to invite your son. He's the first invite, right? I'm doing this and that. So this sounds legit, right? I'm selling it, boom, boom, because it's really gonna be a legit thing. So
what? It's a camp, Julius, that you were
this
inviting
was the top 20 of each class, right? So mind you, at this time I knew one kid that was Paris Dawson, and I had the dad's number. Who else I asked him, who else do you recommend? So he gives me, oh, this kid, boom. So then anyways, it ends up just word of mouth. I end up figuring out who the top guys were. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So he literally gives me 2 numbers. I talk to them. They give me a number. Boom. I go to this tournament. I see this kid. So now all of a sudden, I got all the top middle school kids begging to come to my camp. Wow. But it's invite only. At the time, it was showcase. So after the showcase, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this camp called King of Kings. So after the camp, I did King of Kings, and I did it 30 instead of 20 per class. I made it camp style, and I did 30 per class. I did 8th and 7th together, 6th and 5th together. And if you was one of the better 4th graders, I let you go with the 5th and 6th. So at this time, these are kids, fast forward now, these are kids, and we'll talk about that part. These are kids now that you see have 4 and 5 stars next to their name. But at the time.
Like who, Julius?
That was in those camps?
Yeah. Give me a couple examples.
Josh Christopher is one of them. And
Kyrie? Was Kyrie at
Kyrie. Oh, man. When we get to the list, I don't want to spoil it yet.
No.
I mean, majority of the top guys. And then, of course, there were kids that you never heard of, right? That, blew up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, we do the camp. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
So we do the camp. And so now it's like, now I actually am relevant in the basketball world, but more for middle school and elementary, right? So what
Yeah.
happened? So now the big AAU guys, like the high school guys, they start coming to my events using it as to recruit, because I'm having all the top guys there, right? So all the AAU
Yeah.
coaches and high school coaches are coming to my event to recruit. You know what I'm saying? And at the
Yeah.
time, I was just doing middle school, so I didn't think about high school. I didn't care about high school. I wasn't even thinking that far. But I knew if I wanted to get involved with top guys, I had to start early, because if I would have jumped in with high school, I got no chance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's already the big dogs are already there. So if I
Yeah.
start there, I got no chance.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so Rome's brother Hersey he ended up getting older, and he at
Yeah.
this time he was like in sixth grade or so, maybe
Yeah.
he was in fifth grade, and we wanted to bring P. Miller Ballers back, so
Okay.
we started a team. I went after all the top guys you could think of,
Mm-hmm.
And we built it up. You know what I'm saying? We built the thing up, and I just start building more and more relationships with all the top guys, not just in LA, but across the country, from the camp, from them playing with P. Miller,
Yeah.
all of those things.
So when did you go to the truth?
The truth was after the truth was
Julie,
okay, so it was after.
hold on real quick. I gotta turn this shit off. It's killing me. This noise is killing me. I'll be right back.
It's all good. Yeah.
Jeez. Had my damn freaking wash some clothes, man.
Oh no, it's all
For
good.
that rinse cycle, All right, so where was we at, brother? I'm sorry.
So the truth was, so when the 2019s were in, I think they were approaching their freshman year.
Yeah.
Okay, because I had just came off, so I was doing my own thing. We had the #1 team in the country. We had Mobley, Onyeka Okongwu, Jaime. This is the crazy thing. So Jaime, this is the sickest thing, right?
I heard about this story.
So listen to this. So at the time, at the time I had Onyeka, Mobley, Josh Vasquez, and a few, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's at Oregon now, football. But he was
for sure
really big.
Sick.
So we had a great group, right? So
yeah,
I get a call from a dad. I get a voicemail, right? This taught me to never big time anybody, because you don't know who's who, right? You get at this time I'm getting calls. I'm thinking I'm cracking, right? I'm getting calls.
Right.
I get a call. Oh yeah, I heard you're the guy to do training and this and that.
Yeah.
Jaime was Jaime's dad. I said, what does he play AAU? He said he's playing with Ryan, at the time they were Earl Watson, I believe.
Yeah.
Playing on their third team. Right?
Wow.
Playing on their third team.
But 14?
Okay, this was 8th grade. He's playing on Ryan's third team.
Jeez.
Okay. The guy we're watching killing in March Madness, his third team. Okay. So, but our team, legitimately, we had the best team in the country, right, at the time. So our team is cracking. So I'm not even taking guys in. I'm I'll let him come work out. He came and worked out. I'm like, bro, this kid has big hands, long arms.
Yeah.
He can move, plays with a motor. I'll take him. I said, I don't know how much he'll play, but I'll take him.
Yeah.
He ended up playing a lot. He ended up being really good. And his, their family's great, right? They're so locked in to, him developing, getting better.
Yeah.
They're, really a sport family. They get it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
Julius, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about Jaime in particular, because I got a lot of UCLA Bruin fans. They tune into my show. Mm-hmm. What was it, or what is it about Jaime, his motor, his strength? What is it that just really sets him apart from everybody else.
His motor, his obviously the measurements. He has elite measurements, right? His length,
Yeah.
big hands.
Yeah.
He's explosive. I wouldn't call him fast twitch, but he's athletic. He's explosive vertically. But he just has a nose for the ball. Like,
yeah,
he gets his hand on every 50. He's always been like that, though, right? And like, that had nothing to do with anything but him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he just always had that it, you know? Like, he's going to get 50 putbacks and stuff like that. And as he got, because they lab and, you know, his parents are really bought in development, as he got older, he kept getting more and more skilled.
Yeah.
I mean, there were schools, so I worked really hard for my guys, right? So his freshman year, I was telling, I'm not going to give you names, but some WCC schools about him, and they're telling me, I don't know.
Whatever, yeah.
Is he a 4? Is he a 3? Fuck, he's
Yeah.
a player that's going to help you keep your job. That's what he is, right? So, you know, but so that team ended up being, those guys were now in 9th grade, and I ended up losing a lot of those guys. We'll get to that. But so 8th grade, so that 8th grade year, that's when I had like Johnny Juzang, Jalen Green, Wilhelm, Nico Mannion.
And what was the team they were playing for your team?
Yeah, this was not the truth.
Julius V? Okay.
Oh, you know what? By this time we switched to the truth. So they were Julius V, right?
Okay.
When we were the #1 team in the country with Onyeka and Mobley, that was, we were playing SCA at Southern California All-Star. I had got with Pat.
PB.
Right? Yeah, PB. So I had got with Pat.
Okay.
And so we had that. I was using that brand.
Yeah.
And then me and PB split. Yeah. And so I had Julius V a little bit. I returned back to Julius V Stars or whatever. And like a lot of Jaden Springer, Josh Cruz, a lot of guys played with that group. So anyway, so we end up having I ended up having that team, and then I switched to the truth, because what was happening was, you know, I didn't really understand the politics, right?
And when you say the politics, what are you really referring to?
Like, I didn't understand the program, like how this thing works.
Yeah.
I'm thinking my guys are going to go to high school and play with me.
Yeah.
Right? How silly was I, right? I'm thinking they're going to go to high school and play with me, but not knowing, like,
there's pure. You're pure. But you're pure in the game.
You got Adidas, you got Nike.
Yeah.
They started Under Armour.
Right.
9 times out, majority of those guys were not going to stay with me, right? Like, Mobley was already scripted to go with Compton Magic. I think his dad and Atope were good friends.
Okay.
I think from early on, but like even before the Mobleys were born. So like that was scripted. I had no chance of keeping those up. But I'm just green in this. I don't know what's going on. I'm just young, thirsty. I got players though. I just know I got players, right? So I'm not knowing like these guys are gonna go here, these guys are gonna go there. So I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, I got Nico, I got this, I got Jalen Green, I got Wilhelm, I got this. I'm like, man, so the truth had just popped up, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know J. Crow. I knew of him, right, just from being in the city.
Yeah.
And then I knew of DeAnthony, ran into him a couple of times, but I knew, DeAnthony was an OG in this, right?
Yeah.
So got on the phone with DeAnthony. We ended up meeting, whatever. So then that's when I got with the truth. So I took all the guys to the truth.
Y'all went up to Oakland to play the Oakland Soldiers. Is that the tournament with the truth? Do you remember that? You had left. Okay. We fast forward then. Yeah, we fast forward after that.
We'll get on the how it's like jumping from here to here to here. We'll get to that. Yeah. So I end up leaving by then, and so I think I had brought Keith Dinwiddie over, Jaime. They stayed. Vasquez stayed, I think, the first year.
Yeah.
Jalen Green ended up getting with Quincy and Cody. They had their thing cracking. They started their Fresno thing, so it just made more sense. And so he ended up going with them. Ryan took Nico from me. Juzang ended up going to Compton Magic.
Yeah.
Guys just start scattering. Big O ended up going to Compton Magic. He was at Chino.
You think they left because of the sneaker influence, or
Yeah,
because why
and
couldn't
those
you
guys,
hold
I
on
mean,
to
those
them?
guys,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the sneaker influence, and those guys do a great job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Atope's been in this,
Yeah.
booming. You know what I'm saying? Ryan
Yeah.
was
It's
more
tough.
new, but he was cracking too. Like, I mean, these guys, I had to, you know, work my way up. I was too thirsty early, and that's how I kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. Because
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
I'm
Let's
not understanding the programming.
no.
You
Let's
know what
talk
I'm
about that. Let's
saying?
talk about that. So when I first met you, Julius, we were coaching. I think it was at American Sports Center. We were coaching against each other. It was a pump tournament or
Pumps, I
something.
remember.
So yeah, I had the pump team, and you had a crew. I think Ryan Murphy was on your crew, and
Ryan Murphy. I
yes,
think
some
Terrell Gomez gained after I had Rip, Ryan Murphy. We had
yeah,
a
Rip.
solid group.
No, you had you
Rip,
had a
Alpha.
tall
Yeah.
white kid too. That was good. That was solid. Like he was like
Yeah.
6'9". He was okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what happens is, the game goes, we ended up winning, but you were so competitive, and you were so like, you just wasn't having anything, and we was kind of getting into it, going back and forth, and I was just kind of like, I had never met you. I was just like, who is this light skinned dude over here trying to act like he from UCLA and just checking us? Like you reminded me of my boys. You reminded me of us. So I was like, and you also reminded me, and this is going to sound crazy, but like when I was 19, I was, at UCLA, I won a championship. So that was the year Kobe Bryant came to town. And as a 17-year-old, Kobe, he came to the men's gym, just kind of not really giving a shit who anybody was. He didn't care if you won a championship. He's going
Yeah.
at your head. He's trying to crucify you day in, day out, and with no regard for nothing. And that's kind of just how you was on it. You were just like, I don't really care who you are, bro. I'm trying to win this,
Yeah.
And I respected that, Julius. Honestly, that made me respect you. We had a talk. Somebody got us together on the phone. We squashed it. We moved on. And
Yeah.
since that point, I've always kind of had a thing where I'm like, man, let me see what Julius got up. Got up
Yeah.
his sleeve. Because I know how you move, and I respected it off jump, man, on the real.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate it. I think, man, it's crazy. I got some funny. Are we timed on this? Does it matter?
No, we're good. We got it. We got some time. We got some time.
I got some crazy stories, man. So again, like I didn't understand the politics, the program of what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the etiquette. You follow me?
Yeah.
I'm just young and getting guys.
Yeah.
Like I remember this. I didn't know who Ryan was. Ryan had heard about me. Silver had heard about me, right? It's like, who is this Julius dude? Got all the top guys and this kid, that kid. And so he pulls up to the camp, right, with 4 kids. I'm not going to tell you the guys where. He comes up with 4 kids.
Mm-hmm.
All 4 end up being Division I guys,
Yeah.
right? Comes to the camp. I have, like, homies working the door, my brother. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just –
yeah.
I don't have
grinding,
no business.
getting it done.
Yeah,
but you're getting it done.
Right? Yeah. I have the grinding ingredient,
Yes.
but none of the other
sir.
stuff, right?
That's okay.
So this dude Ryan comes in. I don't know who Ryan is because when I was growing up, I knew Gottlieb, Dino's, the Pumps, Ato. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know much about Ryan.
Silver.
So Ryan comes in, he's like, I got these 4 guys. No, first he said, my homie's like, hey, some white guy, asked, where's Julius? Where's Julius? He has these 4 kids. So I come to the front. I'm like, what's up, bro? He's like, I got 4 guys I want to put it. I'm like, no, like the camp is full. Like this isn't like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's like, man, I respect you. I want to meet with you, this and that. And I think at the time he had partnered with Dino's.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they were Pancos.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Let me stop being a weirdo. I let the guys in, right? Whatever.
Okay.
So they
okay.
And they were good.
That's good looking. That's good looking.
They were good. So they come in, whatever. And so I meet with Ryan. And that's how I got with Ryan. But at the time, Ryan had a lot of people when he first got in, he had people hating on him.
Yeah, quick question about Silver. Okay, yeah. I've known Silver since my college days at UCLA and in his other career in LA nightlife. So I've known him for years. My question is, why is he such a polarizing figure on the Southern California grassroots scene?
Man, his work ethic is unmatched. Like, he grinds. Like, it's a few guys in this business that really grind
Mm-hmm.
and get it done and work.
Yeah.
Ryan Silver, A-Tope, Dino's, and there's probably some others I may be missing, but those three, they grind like
Yeah.
work ethic. That's the first ingredient. Their work ethic is unmatched.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I think when you go from no kind of like unknown to becoming a big fish fast,
Mm.
you're gonna rub people the wrong way on the way to the top. That's just how it goes. That's just the program, right? So
Absolutely.
you know, I think that was part of it. And I think even like Ryan has grown a lot through from when he first started
Yeah.
to now, just how he does stuff. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Just
Yeah.
the type relationships he's got to build and doing stuff the right way. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he has the grind part, great business guy, right?
Yeah.
Really good with people. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how he kind of just cracked fast. But so I think that was part of it. So me
Well,
getting with Ryan, so people was like, you know, I think that was part of it.
let me ask
Man,
you
I
this.
never, yeah,
I had Rock Johnson on the other day. So Rock with I Can. So his big thing with Ryan, okay, and you know, I'm just putting it out there. He's like, you know, his program is based on free. He's trying to get all of his
yeah,
kids paid for and this and that, and he hasn't charged
yeah.
a kid in 20 something years. Now, he speaks to the cost over at WC West Coast Elite, and you know, I'm asking, what is the like value that you're getting at a West Coast Elite program that you wouldn't be getting at these other programs that don't charge?
I think it's kind of just whatever guys take pride in, right? Like, so Rock's one of the best in the business. He's one of the best human beings, right? Like, he didn't live through everything. He didn't
Yeah,
change so many different people's lives on and off the court. Like,
yeah,
so that's something he takes pride in, right? So he's
okay,
really good at that. You can't even put a price at the stuff that he does
that's right,
Like, you can't
that's
put a
right.
price on, like, I talk to Rock on a regular basis. Like,
Mm.
he just called me. He don't even want nothing. Just checking in. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just like, so the stuff he does, the stuff Rock Johnson does, you can't put a price on. Like, he's one of the most respected human beings, period.
absolutely,
You know? So
absolutely.
it's hard to really compare. I think everybody has their niche and what they take pride in, right? So
Yeah,
Ryan, you go to Ryan, he's gonna do a great job promoting you. He
mm-hmm,
has the relationships.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? So if you fit what he's looking for, he can be great for you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I think it just kind of just depends on what you're looking for.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
I
think
get
it's
it.
just so the to do I think that he should charge tuition for what he does? Yeah. I mean, McDonald's All Americans can't go to McDonald's and eat for free, can they? If I'm a McDonald's All American, I go to the register and get a free small fries. I
Hell
can't even
no.
put high C in my water cup. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, right.
No, I feel you. I feel
So
you. 100%, brother.
so I think that he's working, he's providing a service.
Yep,
You just got to know, as a customer, you got to know what you're paying for.
exactly.
So I don't think one is right or wrong. I think they both do a great job and you know what you're signing up for. And I think Ryan's worth what he charges. And I think getting with Rock, I mean, he's, like I said, he's going to develop you. He's going to promote you. He's going to
Sure.
mentor you. He's going to look after you after basketball. So he, like, both of those guys do a great job. I just think it kind of just depends on what is your niche, what do you
Yeah.
take pride in,
No, I
you know?
understand and I understand the value. Having been in, coached for the Pumps, coached for the Truth, kind of got into the AAU. Like, I was trying to, trying to make money. I get it. I get it. I get it. But I just like to have these type of conversations because I feel like the West Coast is really splintered. Julius, I don't know if you saw the show with A-Tope and the Pumps, kind of, squashing the beef.
I did see that. That's
Yeah, and
hard.
so
I seen that.
that was wild, man. But that's the type of
Right?
stuff that I hope that this platform could lead to. I don't know
Yeah.
down the road, but I just want, I hope that the West Coast can eventually be one united front when it's all said and done. What you think
Yeah.
about that?
I do, man. We make up, I did like a study on, I don't know how many classes. We make up like 15% of the top 100, right?
Damn.
That's just top 100. We
Mm-hmm.
make up the most guys in the NBA, this and that. So it's so many players here. But I think at the end of the day, again, it's not, guys are not beefing or having issues with guys about players specifically.
Yeah.
It is that, but it's more about how you go about stuff.
Mm.
Like when I first started, I didn't go about stuff the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget Dino's had a Frost soft camp, right? And this when I had first got with the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just recruiting. I don't care who's with who, what's what. I don't know the Eddie. I'm just going after guys like, oh, he's cracking. I get the roster. I like him. Where's your parents? Boom, boom, boom. Right? So I'm not understanding. The first thing you really ask, hey, are you committed to a club?
Yeah.
They tell you yes, and you kind of just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just protocol. It's respect. It's no different. You get at a girl, she has boyfriend,
Exactly.
leave it at that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I'm not thinking, I'm more just thinking like, huh? Like I'm not, what? You and me. Like I'm selling what I got, you know? And so Saturday, I remember I went Saturday, I get the roster, I'm talking to everybody, right? All the club guys are in there because, you know, Dino's Frost off, and I had just got with Nike
Popping.
with the
It's popping. Yeah, it's popping.
So I'm excited. I'm young. I'm like, man, I'm going after everybody. I'm about to get, because remember, I'm losing guys before that because I'm not on a shoe deal.
Right.
So I'm like, now I got the shoe deal. It's over. I'm going after whoever, whenever, right? Calling parents. So guys are respecting the grind. They're not respecting the way I'm going about it, which they shouldn't. Right? So it's no different in the streets. You can't, everybody got to move accordingly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It can't just be wildfire.
No.
You know? So I didn't really understand the program. So Sunday.
Sorry about that.
Here.
Yeah, I got you.
So my boy hits me. He's like, man, everybody's up here tripping. You know what I'm saying? You know, you getting at guys, this and that. I'm like,
wait,
huh?
so who was tripping? Who was tripping though? Like the other club coaches and stuff?
The different club coaches.
Yeah.
Club
Okay.
coaches, right?
Yeah.
So I go Sunday. I'm like, huh? And I think I had went out on Saturday, so I got a late start. So I think I went to the last round of games right before the All-Star game. So that's when everyone started coming in, whatever. And I kind of felt a weird vibe, right? And again, I'm like just thinking like I'm doing right, like I'm working hard, right?
Yeah.
So they're it's crazy. So everybody kind of looking at me funny, whatever. So I'm like, but y'all like work, like what? But not understanding. You don't. Once you ask a kid where he's committed, that's the end of it.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
It should be respect. All the OGs should be respecting each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not just wildfire. So, you know, I do that. And I think at one point I might have, so I used to go to the pumps office, right? This is
in the Valley.
Yeah, I used to be on a regular basis, right? Go, you know, just talk shit, pumps, right? Just hang out.
It's fun. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. Okay.
I'm just picking their brain.
You never know who's gonna be in there either.
Yeah. So I'm just chilling with the pumps, right? They want to do something together at the time. I'm like, man, right? I'm going to their parties. They're taking me here, taking me there. So again, so now I'm affiliated with them. So now the guys that don't like them, now they see me with him. You follow me? Like I remember I went to Adidas. I'll never forget this. Dino's is crazy for this. So I had borrowed jerseys from Dino's, right? I didn't have because I'm just wandering around. I'm not belong to any. Sometimes I'm Julius V. Sometimes I'm just all over the place, right? So I had borrowed jerseys from Dino's. So I pull up with the pumps to Adidas Nations, right?
Yeah.
So Dino's is in there. So I go say what's up to Dino's. He just goes off on me, just starts snapping on me, right? You haven't getting my jerseys. You gotta pay this and that, right? He's going off on me. You know how Dino's, that's punk, right?
Oh.
You know, you just gotta just respect it, right? So he's going off on me. But now I'm thinking like that had to, you know, I'm pulling up with the pumps. That was when the pumps and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so, dog.
You follow me? So
yes,
I'm not fully understanding the politics and the program of all this. I'm just running around. In my mind, I'm just working hard.
But Julius, you never reached out to any like these guys, Dino's, the Pumps, or Atope, or anybody that was an OG in the game, and like, yo, can you explain to me the deal? What's the drill, man? Well, how should I move? Like, why didn't you ever reach out to these guys just to have a conversation to check out the landscape?
One, I was just young and stupid. Like, that's
Yeah, I
one.
heard. Yeah, youth does it. Yeah, youth does it.
Hey, I was just young and just doing anything. Like,
Yeah.
I do kind of like, it's crazy because now that I'm in this and I'm older now and I understand it a little bit better,
Yeah.
and I'm still growing, you know, again, these guys got years on me, so I'm still even learning as we go. I'll kind of reach out to young guys. Like if I see them moving just thirsty and corny, like I'll just tell them like, bro, that's weak. Like you look like a clown. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect the grind, but you just doing it like it's just clown activity. You know? So as far as like me reaching out to guys, I don't really know. I think it was hard for even guys to even reach out to me because I kind of became I don't want to say a threat, but I kind of became competition fast. So it wasn't enough time to grow and then become competition. Does that make sense?
You jumped
Like,
out the gate.
Yeah, I became competition fast. So
yeah.
And I wasn't doing it the right way early.
So you were a rival. You were a rival when you stepped in. You kind of were positioned as a rival, so it wasn't time to say, "Hey, guys, what's going on?"
I wouldn't say like I was. It's hard to say I was competition because those guys were still light years ahead of me.
No, totally.
I started trending as competition. So nobody was finna, hey, little bro, like this is how I work in here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that, really. So I had to kind of just, as I got older and started to see, I think really, I remember one time we had, it was me, Jay Crow, and D'Anthony. We was at Dino's at an event was it at Poly? Some school in Long Beach, I can't remember.
Cabrillo,
right?
Cabrillo probably. Yeah, Cabrillo probably. Maybe. Oh yeah.
So I'm in there, we're courtside, right? So D'Anthony, he knows the landscape. He's hanging out, talking to everybody, right? He's the OG.
For sure.
Me and Jay Crow, I think we're on the court chilling, and we had like Uber Eats, like some steak or something. So we had the courtside eating steak, just nuts out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dick on the ground, dog.
Going in the stands, talking to this parent, just doing anything, right? Just doing too much, just thirsty, right? So, So I get at, there were some other Nike teams that kids basically were playing with. I didn't know that you couldn't take, if you are
Nike to Nike.
Yeah. So I'm just going after whoever, right? And I'm thinking, okay. So Nike calls, I want to say it was Crow, and they was like, man, you guys are walking
doing
around with your nuts out. Like, you're just doing too much. Like, he's like, because we were cracking fast, man. Fast.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? So you was with us.
Yeah. Super fast.
Cracking fast. Right? So then that's when I start even more and more seeing, like, you can't just do whatever. Like, can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that.
And why? My question is, so you're a very confident individual, like, and then what made you start to realize that your movements weren't kosher anymore? Like, what was the point? And you said the inflection of Julius looked in the mirror. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you can't hold yourself accountable, you're not a man. Like, real leaders can say if they're wrong. Real bosses can say if they're wrong. I'm so secure with who I am. I don't mind if I'm, even in coaching, if I'm coaching and I got assistants telling me X, Y, and Z, I don't mind saying, like, dang, I messed up on that. You're right. I don't mind holding myself accountable. I know who I am as a man.
Yep.
So as I grew older and really start realizing what a real man was, that's when I start growing and understanding, and okay, this is how I got to do this. This is how I got to do that. At the time, I'm on some Tupac shit. Like, man, I'm not, like, I'm not tripping on nothing. But then I realized, like, that's not like the way. That's not the way. Like, if you know what I'm saying? Like, if you you got to be able to admit you're wrong. You got to be able to say sorry. Like, to me, that's being a real man. So I think
Yeah, I agree.
that's how I really that's how I really kind of started to grow. And then I got older and I started being around, seeing how this person moves and this person moves.
Yeah.
I started, learning more and more and more and more. So like now, like, dude, I have so much respect for these guys. Like, a lot of these guys have no clue because maybe I don't tell them enough, but I have some of these OGs in this, like even the guys I don't even talk to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, at the end of the day, these guys are helping kids, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
nothing like it.
you know what I'm saying? So it's so many guys like that I have respect for that I might not even talk to on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? It could be, I don't talk to the guys at Game Point. I got respect for them. You know what I'm saying?
Major respect for them guys out in Game Point, dog. Come on.
I don't see them on a regular basis. I don't talk to them, but they would never know. Like, I got respect for those guys. You know what I'm saying? And then, Ryan, Dino's, Ato, Kool-Aid, like, what's my guy, IABP? Like, it's so many guys
dog.
that I have a lot of respect for, but maybe I just, I haven't told them or whatever. But, so now that I'm older, I think, and I kind of figured more and more out, I think, at least on my end, like, I think now guys are like, you know what? One thing I could say about Julius, I may not have liked how he did stuff then, but his intentions are right, and he work hard.
Yeah.
His guys get better. They develop. I work hard for my guys. I get my guys scholarships. Well, they get their self scholarships, but I provide a platform for them to work for a scholarship. So I think now guys are at the point like, you know what, like, I can respect them, So
your grind.
To go back to everything you said, like, with the West Coast, I think it's not about guys fighting for players. It's about how you do it. Because if you look at a lot of the OGs in this, one could be a Nike, one could be a Adidas. There's respect for each other because they respect each other's passion, grind. You know what I'm saying? What their agenda is, right? Getting players and helping kids. So I think, like you said, I think with the recent events that have occurred in the last year, people are starting to see more and more that it's way deeper than basketball. Like, people don't like, now I feel like it's to the point where it's like guys not even worried about rosters. They're just hoping that we can play. You know what I'm saying?
That changes your perspective.
Yeah. Just being out there hooping is now like, so I think that's going to help what I don't want to call them beefs because they're not really real beefs, but like the small tension between guys.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
Yeah.
So Julius, we got about 5-10 more minutes on this one because the file gets too big and I'll have trouble downloading it. But I wanted to get into what you're doing currently. So now with the Southern California Academy, and do you have a club side of things, or catch us up on what you're doing currently?
So I'll try to make this fast. So me and my partner Travis, we started an academy. We're a real school, brick and mortar, the whole thing, called Southern California Academy. And basically, I always kind of had this philosophy. I kind of wanted to mold it into like a European academy. I always had this idea of, why not? So some guys team stack. Some guys will load up their roster. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Some guys will load up their roster to go try to collect trophies.
Yeah.
That's not my agenda. I'm loading up our roster. Like, we had 10 Division I guys. We were one of the better teams. We play in the best league in the country, grind session, and no disrespect to other leagues, but I think it's probably
grind session legit.
From top to bottom.
Legit.
But I load up our roster so guys can get better every single day in practice. That's what it's really about. So I'm not loading up roster to go try to win a trophy. I didn't win enough trophies. Like, that stuff means nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm loading up our roster to give them a mimic of college basketball. If I go to UCLA, Harvard, Florida State, if I go to those spots, the worst player on scholarships is Division I guy, and the best player is a Division I guy. There typically isn't a huge gap between the best and the worst. Monday, your 5-man might be the best player. Tuesday it might be your freshman. Wednesday it might be your point. But every day guys are getting better. It's competitive every single day. So that's the kind of atmosphere I wanted to build with the academy. Is like there's no wasted days. There's no wasted movements. Every single day you're getting better. Every single day. Because that's what college is. That's what a mimic of college basketball is. I'll never forget at the end of the season, Ben Schultzberg, who's a really good 2022, looks at this is our last game, looks over to one of our kids, our senior guards, Yaru Harvey, and tells him he's gonna go to Portland. He tells Yaru, he said, man, thank you for making me better every single day. And that right there was like, to me, it represents everything I stand for. Like for him to say that every day, like, I mean, to thank him for getting better, like, that's the kind of atmosphere I wanted to provide for these guys. Like, that's what it's about. It's about you coming here and knowing you won't be the best player in practice every day, because that's what college is.
Yes.
When we play the worst team in your league, let's say you're playing the worst team in, I mean, we can say whatever, but Oregon State was picked last, I think, in the Pac.
Yeah. 12.
Oregon State was picked last in the Pac-12. Anybody can beat anybody because good coaching and there's enough talent for anyone to beat anyone. So that's really what that's what our league is. We could play the worst team in our league. They got 8 Division I guys. Anyone can beat anybody, so that's really what it was. And then I used to be in Philly a lot, and I would go to Villanova's practices. Okay. And I would just watch the culture, the brotherhood, how things were done there. And I would hear every time a coach would get a job, we're going to change the culture. That word is thrown out so loosely. So I would go to these other practices. I'm like, nah, this right here, Villanova, how they're doing it, this is how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
So then I built a relationship with Leonard Hamilton, who's the head coach of Florida State. And he was recruiting one of my kids. And we would, get on Zooms and stuff like that. And me and him started to build a relationship. And I would just pick his brain. And he would tell me how they do stuff and different things and different drills and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I look at Jay Wright, I look at Leonard Hamilton, and I'm like, this is how it's supposed to be done. So I put that into our academy and into my club with California Stars as well, like just doing it the right way, so.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
No, that's great, man. That's great. And you've had some success, especially 2018 with the California Stars. That summer, you guys ran through the Vegas. You beat Mac Irvin in the final. That was a real big situation. Talk a little bit about that summer, Julius. Just kind of, and we're gonna end it on this. But talk about that summer and how you guys came together and went on your run in the summer of 2018.
Man, so what people don't know is the first year I did this, when we went to Vegas and I had Terrell Gomez, Adam Seiko, Rip Economo was a sophomore, Alpha Coley was a sophomore, Cody Riley. That was our starting 5. We beat like 4 or 5 EYBL teams, right? That year. We lost in the semis. The kid, I think his name is Brad Stevens, maybe. He's at Wisconsin. Guard, he hit the game winner for Pulley Panthers. We went home, right? So we made a lot of noise then. Then I went and the next year we beat a couple teams, whatever. But that year we started to. I had James Keefe, who's at Stanford, Antoine January, who committed to Illinois, Josh Vasquez. Like we had guys, right? Jordan Brinson, we had guys. So we end up beating these teams, whatever. We play Mac Irvin Fire in the finals, and we beat them. Their EYBL team, they had a Kentucky commit, a Kansas commit. The kid at Texas Tech, he was originally committed to Tennessee. I think he's at Texas Tech. He's projected first round pick, Terrence Shanahan, maybe. He was on that team. So they were good, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up winning that. It was every high major coach was like at these events, right? Because everyone's there. So schools that you might never play in front of are there. So after that, man, like I think guys started to now respect me, not just as a trainer, not just as a grinder, but as a coach.
Coach.
And then that's how I kind of, yeah, like from there.
And how did that feel? How validated did you feel, Julius, for having that whole grind as a coach, as an AAU guy, but then as a trainer and an AAU guy, but then you took a team that wasn't expected to do well and you were the talk of the summer. I mean, you and Compton Magic were the talk of the summer in 2018 nationally.
Yeah, it felt good, like, because, you know, it's crazy. So when I had decided to do my own thing, which was California Stars,
yeah,
I didn't have jerseys, so I went and got reversibles. I used like Dino Spring League,
I know, I saw
high
that.
school stuff, right?
And
we played. We won we beat like 4 or 5 EYBL teams that year. That was with Cody and Tigo and all them in Vegas. I'm like, you know what? This is how we gonna do it always. We're always, my top 17s are always gonna wear reversibles and random shorts because we gonna get it out the mud. So that's what made the story even crazier, right? Because the Mac Irvin team, you know, they do a great job. They always got guys. They got the Nike EYBL badge hanging off the backpack, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everything. For us, we got, man, Jordan Brinson got MVP of the Vegas event when we won. He had on some Hollister sweats that he cut into shorts in the championship game.
That's sick.
So that was the whole thing. Like, that was like, whoa, like, you know. But guys, that goes to what my whole thing, what I believe in, like, develop, get it out the mud, grind it out, like, all the cute shit. That shit don't matter. It doesn't help you make shots. It doesn't help you guard ball screens. Like, you got to get it done, you know. So ever since then, we've continued. Like, this year, we're gonna play. We're gonna, our reversibles are actually gonna have our logo on there, but the random shorts, we're playing in practice reversibles. We're gonna keep. I think Rick Isaacs used to do something similar to that. He didn't do the whole crazy uniforms that he had.
Hit squad. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
That's dope, man. Well, man, I'm proud of the way that you've kind of made your way, getting it out the mud, man. To find out and to understand that you were homeless at one point, I didn't know about that. Today's interview really gave me some perspective just on who you really are at your core, bro. And that's why I wanted to get you on. Like, people can think you one way, see you in the pictures and see you in the videos, but to talk to you and hear it from your words, your journey, brother, I think it's been really enlightening today, Julius. And I appreciate you for coming on KJ Live, my man.
Nah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no doubt. So, you know, stay in touch, bro. I wish you the best, man. And let me know if you ever need anything from me, my guy. All right?
For sure. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Julius Von Hanzlik. Is that say it right? Or Hanzlik?
Yeah, you got
Julius Von Hanzlik. All right, dog. That's later.
All right.
Peace.